Transformational and mindset coach, Ad-Mabo inspires women to live purposefully and make an impact in the world with entrepreneurship. Ehi is a passionate and inspirational speaker who has built a platform on helping women develop their self-confidence, overcome fear, and be profitable. Her message is built on the premise of abundance and the audacity of belief. Our works have been featured internationally in various platforms, such as the Poverty and Social Protection Conference and other initiatives around the world. Welcome, Ad-Mabo.
Hi.
It's so good to have you, Ehi.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
I know, it has been a while.
Yeah. So it's so good to have you here. And basically, what we talk about here today, I'll be asking you a few questions. I'll be having a conversation over a makeup session. And basically, I want to know what our viewers are about is how to find your passion, and we'll just dig a bit into your own story, and hopefully it will inspire someone today.
Let's do it.
So let's do this. Okay. So Ehi, tell us about you. Where were you born? Who are you? And what do you do?
Okay, so my name is Ehi Ad-Mabo. I was born in Nigeria. I moved to Canada when I was 17 because my parents thought it was a good idea for the most part. They thought it was a good idea to be in Canada. So what I do now is, well, let me just backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
I studied economics at McMaster University in Ontario, in Canada here. And so when I got done with school, just like anybody else, I did not know what I wanted to do. The big question mark.
Totally.
Literally, the elephant in the room was always, what do you want to do? What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
And let me just say this, the whole time I was growing up, my father and essentially my parents thought I should be working for an international organization like the United Nations, the World Health Organization.
They always have their own plans, eh?
So they wanted me to do this big, do something that that had some standards to it, something that was, like a big governmental organization.
Right.
So that was just always my goal, my dream. So when I got into MAC, the questions started, then became what do you want to study? And so remember, the whole time I was growing up, I thought I was going to work for the UN or the WHO. So the closest thing to mind was I'm going to study economics.
Right.
Because that's the fastest way to get my foot in the door with those organizations. So I just kept on following dad and mom.
Yeah.
And so when I studied economics at McMaster, it wasn't necessarily that I went and talked to God or had this conversation that this is what I wanted to do. It was just pure and simple. This is what my parents thought was a good idea. So I studied economics, and when I was done, there was just this disconnect. It felt like, so what do I do now? What do I do with this? What do I do with this? Okay, go work at the bank, and then there was a few other obvious options like those. But something interesting happened the year that I graduated. Canada fell into a deep recession.
What year was that?
This was 2007.
Yeah.
So there was a recession
2008.
Yeah, 2007/2008. There was a recession. So that meant that Ehi could not get herself a job. So think about, and anyone who's listening to this, who's an international student or has kids who are international students, gets this. You've studied all the way to become, to have your degree, and then when it's time for you to start giving back, you are saying, what? There's no jobs. So I felt really embarrassed. I felt really bad about this. So I just decided I'm just gonna get a job just so I don't look useless to my folks. I didn't want to be completely useless. So I got a job working as a telemarketer. And essentially I had to go through this big stack of yellow pages, calling people through those tiny prints. I'm not talking about 2018 and 2019 where we have electronic media. I'm talking about literally going through that big stack of yellow pages, calling people to have their windows washed. That was my job. And so I felt really, really embarrassed about this for months and months. Like, how can my parents spend all this money, send me to school, and all I could do is to have people's windows washed? Like, it was no laughing matter. So this went on for months and months and months. And then something interesting happened. So I had this little house that I was living in, and obviously the money was not enough. I was getting paid minimum wage.
Yeah.
So one day I started to really ask questions. I was like, God, this is not where I want to be. There's something, there's got to be more. There's got to be more, and I don't care if there's a recession. There's got to be more to my life than just doing this. So I believe that every time we ask, we always receive. Every time we get to the point where it's time for the next level, the answers always show up. But sometimes we're not paying attention, so we don't see it. But that particular period, I was really desperate. I was really hungry for the next level, and I was really tired of where I was. And so one of those days, I got home and I just turned on the TV and I heard Dr. Phil interviewing Oprah. And they were talking about, Oprah was sharing a technique on journaling, and she was speaking about how journaling had been extremely cathartic to her and how it really helped her. All I was thinking was, dude, I may not have any money right now, but I have a pen and paper somewhere in this apartment and I can change my life.
I know, right? Journaling.
So, oh my God. So for me, that was the cue. I needed to just jumpstart everything again. So I got out a pen and paper. I started to write down everything that I was feeling, everything that was going on, my dissatisfaction. So I made sure I continued again the next day. It just felt good. Something started to shift. First off, I started to feel like there was someone actually listening to me, but I also started to feel my energy shifting, like, oh, I feel much better. I had a different perspective of everything going on. And then I realized one thing. I was the architect of my fortune. I think Napoleon Hill talks about this and how whatever you've created, positive and negative, you have created it, so you better own it, you know. People keep talking about how you know, you can attract whatever it is that you want, but you know, it's easy to get behind that when it's positive and when it's a success. But when what you've created is a mess and an absolute embarrassment, you know, we're quick to look for external factors. Oh, it's the economy. Oh, it's my mother. Oh, I didn't get any support from my friends and family. Oh, it's my spouse. But I think something about that phase in my life where I was just willing to come to terms and take responsibility really helped me. And then I started realizing, you know, if I created this mess, the good news is I can create again. And so that was when I started to realize that everything that happened to me up until that point, it happened to me because of the way that I was thinking. It happened to me because of the way that my mindset was. I did not know anything about paradigms. I had no idea that my beliefs had led me to this point. And so as I started to journal, things started to shift. You know, so I got a better job. I got this job working for the bank, and it was nothing spectacular. Again, it was a it was a call center job. So slightly better increase. And obviously a much better perspective. So I went back again. I was like, there's got to be more. This is not how the story ends. There's got to be more. I know I can do more. And before then, I'd heard people talk about, you know, how they can become, you know, IT consultants. And every time I hear about it, I'm like, that's not really for me. I can't do it. I'm not able to the task. I'm not skilled. You know, one of the things I want to say here is you want to be on your own side. If you're always looking for excuses as to why things cannot happen, it never will happen. But at that point, I realized it was important that I got on my own side. Prior to now, I had not been on my own side. I was always looking for reasons why it was not. Reasons why it didn't work out, or I was not good enough, or it just wasn't going to happen for me. So until I changed that mindset to say, hey, you've got to get on your own side, nothing really happened. Anyways, so I went ahead and started to apply for those new those IT jobs, and surprisingly I got the job. That's the side that I can tell everybody, and everyone will go, oh my gosh, how did you go from $14 an hour to $60 an hour? That's great. But I think a smarter question would be, what changed? What in your mindset changed? Now keep in mind, all along I had been saying I'm not good enough, I don't have the experience, I don't have the education. After all, I didn't really have any experience. I don't have this, I don't have that. I was looking at the things that I did not have. What I did not know was all the things that I had, because I was not on my own side. But through the ability to journal and through the ability to go deep down and look at my subconscious patterns, look at my paradigms, look at my stories, look at the narratives, look at the things I was telling myself, I was not able to change my reality until I started from the inside out. Hence, my story started. So I started to help people, and so I called myself a life coach for a little bit. I'm like, hey, we can change your life. This is how we can do it, and it was great. The only problem, people were coming to me with other kinds of issues that I'm like, yeah, I love relationships and all, but I'm not super passionate about them. Relationship coach and that coach. And so I realized that I really had this knack for entrepreneurship.
Okay.
I love to see people just create. I love to see people turn intangible to really tangible realities. I'm like, wait a second, there's something here. And so I decided I'm just going to be a business coach because I really want to help people create things from things that did not exist to, you know, converting their passions to a packaged product that would turn around to make them an income. So I called myself a business coach for a little bit, and it was great. And then I got to this other spot where it was like, well, a lot of people were coming to me with strategy questions. Oh, what do I do with my sales? What do I do with my marketing? What do I do with this and that? And then the story wasn't complete when I was telling them, oh, you've got to get clear on your brand story. You've got to get clear on your target audience. You've got to get clear. They just weren't hitting it.
Yeah.
And so I had to backtrack to go, wait a second, there's other things playing on the background. There's other things being installed. Let's just think about it like a software. There's a software running on the background, and until you uninstall that software, you're gonna constantly believe those things that your parents told you 30 years ago, your uncle told you 35 years ago. Society tells you, oh, you need to have this before you can do this. You need to have this before you can do this. You need to have your I's dotted and your T's crossed. And that is the singular biggest thing that holds a lot of us back. It's that fear of embarrassment, that imposter syndrome, that who am I to call myself this? Who am I to say this and have this big, bold title? So I realized that the problem with, I want to say maybe 85% of people who are not living purpose-driven lives, it was not strategy, it was not anything on the outside. It was really those programs of fear, the programs of not being good enough, the programs of lack of self-confidence and self-sabotage and doubts, and all those things were running in the background. So it didn't matter how much you adjusted your strategies. It did not matter how much you tweaked about everything going on the outside. If you did not believe you were good enough, you were not good enough. If you did not believe that you were worthy and deserving, you were not worthy and deserving. And
I totally love that you mentioned, you know, those things that are stopping us from living a purpose-driven life. And that's what I really call those masks.
Yeah.
You know, that's really those things that mask our beauty, right? Fear, shame, guilt, not being good enough. Who am I? Who am I to do these things? You know, and that's the whole idea of this show. You know, we want to help people unmask their beauty. So, sorry to cut you off.
No, that's okay. You know, as you were speaking, I was thinking about the number of people who could be impacting the world with the investment of their gifts, their talents, their personality, the things they know how to do better than everyone else, but are refusing to speak up, or refusing to step from the back of the room to the front of the room to call themselves an expert that they are because of these same things. Like, who am I to do this? Who am I to feel that way? Who am I to be so successful? So see, one of the things doing that I understood as I started to coach women was fear of failure was not the biggest thing, it was fear of success.
No, absolutely. Like, when I become that, who am I? Why? People doing it have two heads, not me.
Right.
Not me.
Right. Or they have this and they have that. Yeah. I just don't have what it takes. Right? And then how would my life change when I become that person? Yeah. How would people perceive me? Wouldn't they think I'm too much? Wouldn't they think I'm too dramatic? Wouldn't they think, oh, I'm all over the place? Wouldn't they think, oh, why, you know, what is that pressure we put on ourselves, the pressure to be perfect?
And you know, it's okay to feel that way, because I definitely felt that way, but it's not okay to remain there.
To stay there.
Right? So I felt that way when I wanted to start my makeup line, and I was like, who am I? Like, the kind of people that do these things and the media, they're this, they're that. Who am I to do this? And
they look a certain way.
Right? And then another voice came, who are you not to?
Who are you not
right?
to?
So it's okay if you're going to be feeling that way, like, who am I? What have I got? It's okay. But do not remain there, right? So go ahead.
But the thing is, you have to walk through those fears. You have to push yourself to the point where you question those narratives. Where did this come from? Why do I feel the way that I feel? Where has it come from? What's the origin? And until we start to ask those questions that are not always comfortable, we would never get to that position of power. We're talking about power before the show started. a lot of purpose-driven people don't understand how powerful they are. And it's the thing about boundaries. It's the thing about, well, if I look a certain way, they're gonna think I'm aggressive. If I talk too much about money, they're gonna think I'm all about the money and I don't care about them. If I do this, people are gonna think I'm too ambitious, or I need to calm down, or I need to just be regular and normal and wear the stilettos and the blazer and show up at work and do this and do that. Is that quest to be well behaved? Where does that come from? So I believe that for a female leader to fully step into her power, her personal power, we have to be willing to confront our demons. And it looks different for each and every one of us. For me, it was people pleasing. It was wanting to just be loved and wanted and validated by everyone else.
How do you know what those demons are, what those masks are?
So I believe that each and every one of us knows what stops us, because you get to the point where you know that you're not fully operating in your optimal capacity. But whenever it's challenging it, that's the problem. We all know what it is, but it's challenging it. Like for me, I did not have any boundaries in my business. Like you could call me at 12 minutes, I'm like, what's up? How you doing? You know, you could be late on your payments and it was okay. You could, I didn't have a calendar, I didn't have a structure, it was just all over the place. But I knew what the problem was, because I'd seen businesses who would run perfectly fine. But I did not want to do that for fear of losing these clients. I don't want to lose the money, so I'm going to just do whatever I need to do to keep you happy. What I did not realize was whatever you're saying yes to is what's going to keep showing up.
Absolutely.
So if you're saying yes to mediocrity, if you're saying yes to people who treat you less than perfect, if you're saying yes to situations that are less than ideal, if you're constantly saying yes to experiences that do not light you up, guess what God is going to do? And you know, a new age is called the universe. But guess what you're going to keep getting? More of what you're saying yes to. More of the things that you are saying, I'm okay with that. Because the message you're sending to the universe is, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with not being paid on time. I'm okay with not not working in purpose. I'm okay when I don't make money. I'm okay when I don't know what my purpose is and I'm just going to walk around like everybody else. So you're gonna be getting more of those things that validate what you're saying yes to. But if you would dare to change the narrative and just stop the bleed and say, no, that's it. Done. And you can say that any day. It doesn't have to be the start of a new year. It doesn't have to be the start of a new month.
It doesn't have to be a New Year resolution.
No. You can literally wake up on 16th of the month and go, okay, that's it. This is the last time I would ever play small in my life and in my business. This is the last time I would ever walk around not knowing who I am, not knowing what my power is, not showing up in the world deliberately. This is the last day that it gets to happen. You know what's going to happen? The entire universe is going to conspire to start sending you more of what you're saying yes to, more of what you're interested in, more of the things that light you up, more of the things that you desire. But see, let's just backtrack, because a lot of people are maybe listening and going, well, I haven't even gotten to that point where I know what I should be doing. I haven't even gotten to that point where I know that this is what I should be doing.
And that was my next question to you. Like, how do you know what you're passionate about? Because a lot of our viewers, you know, some of them are at this point where they're so confused. They're like, everybody's saying follow your passion, follow your dream. How do I know? I love my job, like I love what I do, but I don't know if I'm passionate about it. So how do you know how do you know what your passion is, what your gifts are? Because I believe your passion is your gift. You're created to deliver a gift to the world, and that is where your passion lies, right? Mm-hmm. And that is what I personally call beauty, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you actually discover that?
So a couple things. There's a lot being said about discover your passion, follow your passion. And let me just say this. You must go in the path of least resistance. You must do the thing that feels totally easy to you and may feel complicated to the rest of the world, but it feels totally easy to you. I'm very inspired by a lady called Marie Kondo, and she has a show on Netflix. You might have heard about her. She's just blowing up. She's I think she's a Japanese woman who just has gone around the world by helping people organize their homes.
Seriously?
Helping people organize their homes.
Seriously?
You should look her up. She just helps people organize your home. She comes in here and tells you, oh, you need to find your joy. You need to find the things that light you up, and you need to put this here and put this here. That's all she does.
Wow.
Organizing her home has gotten her to the highest of the highs. So we complicate things because when things sound complicated, it sounds serious.
True. And never thought of it that way.
It's simple. It's what is the path of least resistance? What is the thing that you always want to fix, you always want to change, you always want to see the world do better at? I'm really inspired by my younger sister. She started a blog where she just posts baby pictures. When she started, it was always, well, how are you going to make money from this? But first off, can we just talk about joy? Can we just talk about the things that make me happy? Can I just talk about how I want to, how I want to impact the world before we start talking about what I can get? Because if you can figure out how you can make the next person a better person, a happier person, if you can figure out how you can make the next person get what they want, you will get what you need.
And like, as you're saying this, I'm beginning to discover that for me, I loved makeup. I just love the fact that people would say, oh, I feel better, I look better, right? But then I got to a point where I started asking myself, why am I doing this? I love it, I'm enjoying it, I find so much joy in it, but why am I doing it? And that was when I started digging out my purpose. So I get what you mean. In the things that you easily love, it might be something that people might think, it's not even necessary in the world. Like, who needs somebody to arrange their home, right? Right? But if you find joy in it, you will find your purpose tied to those things that you enjoy, that you naturally enjoy doing.
Absolutely. And then you can tie your purpose to something bigger. Like, really, who needs someone to organize your homes? Or who doesn't need an office and a home that makes them feel better? Because when they feel better, they can make more money. When they make more money, they can make more impact. Or even if you're not making money, when you organize your home, you feel like a better person. That takes away the guilt and condemnation from all the things that are causing you stress in the world. Right? So can you tie your purpose to something bigger?
Something bigger. Like, why?
And then the other thing I want to say is we need to be deliberate about this. Some people think, oh, I'm just gonna wake up in the morning and I'm just gonna feel a certain way. Sometimes you have to go fishing. You have to go asking questions. And the most important thing, oh my God, you have to do. There's so much to be said about I'm thinking about it. And when someone says to me, I'm thinking about it, I almost want to laugh because you're not thinking about anything. You're just holding yourself back in fear.
You need to at least do something. You're thinking about it. Can you register that business at least? Can you do a Facebook Live?
Can you take action on something that you believe to be true?
Yeah.
There's so many thinkers, not enough doers, not enough people just being in that position of power. And being in a position of power is your zone of brilliance. What is your zone of brilliance? It is a position where your passion meets your strengths and your skills, and it meets the part where you're impacting someone else's life. So there's an intersect. Think about 3 sects. There's one circle with this is what I love to do, this is what I cannot do without talking about. There's another sect where these are my strengths, these are my skills, these are the things I really, really know how to do well. Think about a third circle as this is what the world needs. Where those 3 things intersect is your zone of genius. You should never leave your zone of brilliance.
Wow, you need to draw that for me and I need to look at that. I love
Think about the intersect in math.
Yeah.
The part where those 3 things intersect is your zone of brilliance. If you can find that zone of brilliance, you can sell it. I don't care the form and the format it takes, but you can sell it because people need it, because you're good at it, because you're passionate about it.
Wow.
But most importantly, you need to take action. Right? Like you need to start with what you think it is, and then you can tweak and you can move, you can transition, but you need to start right now with anything.
And I totally agree with what he said, because if you don't start, you won't know what the next. You can have this big vision board and you're like, this is where I want to go. But you need to start. How can you start? What do you have? What are the things that you have that you can at least start with? Because I believe we all have everything it takes to do exactly what we want to do. But at least you need to start. Like for instance, when I started Adonia, I came. You remember when I came? I called you. Somebody gave me your number, and I'm like, you know what? I need to get out there.
Yeah.
I need to. It's action, right? And then I started taking in clients in my house. I started going, but I had this bigger vision, and I knew it was beyond going around doing makeup. But then I needed to start.
You need to start from what you had at the time, which was you had a person's number who gave you someone else's number, who gave you someone else's number, and it was that little potential start that resulted to this.
Right?
So there's a lot of things that are overrated in the world, but starting and taking action is not one of them. You must take action. You must start with what you think it is. And even as a business coach, I see a lot of people say to me, okay, I'm already in business. I already kind of know what I'm doing. But like I've been stuck, or I've been doing things in a small way, and I know there's a next level, or I know there's something more that I need to be doing. The question that I ask them is, who is the woman who's doing that thing? Who's the woman who's doing that thing? Because are you her right now? Until you become her, before the physical evidence shows up, you would never be able to fill into that container. Who's the woman who's doing that thing? Are you clear on exactly what it is? When I was moving from just doing classes to accepting premium clients, I was very worried. I used to like say, oh my gosh, who's gonna pay me this much to help them with their businesses? God, there's never gonna be any clients for me. And when I tell you, the minute I got clear on what the value they were getting was, the minute I got clear on what the value I was offering, the women came. Within 10 days, I was able to fill my calendar with premium clients.
Wow.
And they just came. So the question you want to ask is, did anything change for me in 10 days? Was I more experienced in 10 days?
Mindset.
Not necessarily. It was just, I just changed my mind. I just changed my mind. I just adopted new paradigms.
And what I like about what you're saying is, well, I might not be able to particularly put it the way you said it, but that is exactly what it is. Are you that woman? So, as you know, I had changed a lot of jobs in the past, trying to look for that thing that would just, make me fly and make me happy. So I thought makeup was it. And then I got to this point again when I was like, you know what? Why am I even doing this makeup? This job is so belittling. This client did this, this client did that. And then I started to think of people that inspired me. I'm like, why do they inspire me? So I thought of Tara Fela-Durotoye. And I thought, why did she inspire me? To be honest, I'm not particularly inspired about money, because I believe anything I do, I can make money in it. I wasn't suffering in my other jobs. I could make money in anything I do. And then that was when I started discovering it wasn't a financial success. It was a way of life.
Culture.
And then I thought I needed to work on myself to become that woman that I want to become. Because you are the one running your business. And if you don't have the personal growth with yourself, then the business, won't grow as well.
Absolutely.
Because it's all about you. You can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
So that was exactly what happened to me. And I was like, I get inspired by this woman. I get inspired by her spirituality, the way she runs her business, the structure in her business. And then I started taking some courses. I started reading books. I started seeing myself becoming that woman. At times I listen to myself speak and I'm like, am I the one speaking? Even my husband one day said, oh, it shows you've been reading a lot of books. You've been watching the right thing. So it's all about understanding where you want to go to, who do you want to become, and becoming that woman. And it affects everything in your life, your business, your work, your life, your career, everything.
I love it. But so the thing is becoming her before you're even ready, before anyone else sees it. Like, I always had the potential to take on premium clients the whole time, as long as I started. But why didn't I? Because I didn't believe I could. I didn't believe that I had what it took until I stepped in and I called it, until I embodied. The word is embodiment. Until I embodied that woman who did life and business the way she wanted to do it, who helped women get XYZ results, fill up their own calendars with premium clients, get clear on exactly what it was that they wanted to do in their lives, live purpose-driven lives. And you don't even necessarily need to be an entrepreneur, you just need to create. You can be a professional, you could be whatever it is, but just need to live a life like design. Until I got clear on who that woman was, I couldn't really fully step into her. So it's like you're putting the cart before the horse. You need to embody her first before the benefits of that woman shows up.
Wow.
You need to think like her, make decisions from that place even before you are there. That's the part that a lot of people struggle with. It's like, why do I need to make an investment on this level when I'm not even making that much money? Well, because you want to get there. If you wait till you get there, you would never fully get there, because you need to get there before you get there. It's a catch-22. You need to be there physically, spiritually, mentally before the physical evidence shows up.
Hey, I'm really enjoying this conversation, because these are not, they're not questions that people generally ask. if somebody comes to you, they want you to probably coach them on their business, and they're like, they just want to be profitable. Most people want to be profitable, but then it starts from the mind. Even being profitable starts from the mind, and that's why I love the work that you do. I know some people might not get it, being a mindset coach, but every day I'm constantly telling my sister and anybody that cares to listen, my husband, that business it has a lot to do with mindset. There's so many things I've achieved today I never thought I could achieve in the past, because I had things blocking my mindset, like, oh no, who's gonna listen, who's gonna buy, and as soon as you get past that mindset, you start to create the things that you really want. I start to get results. And then, so you're constantly working on your mindset. And that's why I'm like, I get it when people say they're mindset coaches. I get what life coaches do. I get what business coaches do. And it's not just about, giving you the strategies to make money. It's more about giving you the strategies to create exactly what you want. What does success look like for you?
Exactly. And it looks very differently for everybody.
Yeah.
It's more like helping you think in a way that you can attract the things that you desire. Because it looks differently for everyone, we need to spend the time to define what that looks like. But we need to spend the time to define what your current beliefs are about where you are right now. And then obviously if there's a gap between where you are and where you need to be, then there is a step up in your mindset that needs to happen. There's a paradigm shift that needs to happen. Your narratives that needs to be changed. Your beliefs that need to be conquered. People pleasing was one of my biggest struggles, because there was just no, I always wanted to be validated, always wanted to be loved, always wanted to be liked. And until I started to work on it, to say, no, Ehi, we're not here to be loved and liked. We're here to deliver an assignment. We're here to make an impact. We're here to help people with the investment of the gifts that God has given me. I'm not here to win Popular Woman of the Year award. And when you start to separate yourself from those external things, it becomes so much easier and clearer to see, because now you're not so much worried about the algorithms. Oh, how many likes did he get? How many comments? Those things used to kill me. How many shares? Oh my gosh, who's watching? There's only one person watching. Oh my God, boo ho ho, I must be like totally not making sense. Until I got myself to see past that and say, no, even if there's only one person watching and they get it, that's all that matters. You showing up is all that matters, because you've done your part for the day. Now what you need to do is to magnetize the anomalies, is to magnetize the woman who's ready for that position of power. And believe it or not, not everybody's ready. And this is why not everybody's your client. Not everybody's ready. Not everybody's ready for what you have to offer. Some people are going to look at you and go, what is she talking about?
Absolutely.
Right now, some people are listening to me and going, is she even making sense right now? And that's okay.
No, I totally get what you're saying. There was a time I was working with a coach, and we were talking, and I said, I wouldn't have, even paid for anything you were offering a year ago. Because I wasn't at the stage.
You weren't there.
I wasn't at the stage where I was so thirsty, and I was so hungry for, just understanding what I was doing in this life, to be honest. Because at that time, I saw myself as just jumping from one place to the other. And I wanted to be clear, because I was 100% sure I had potentials. I wanted to be clear. And I kept asking myself very frightening questions. Who am I? Like, who knows how to answer those questions? Nobody.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
And then you ask yourself 5 minutes after you go grab a cup of hot chocolate or coffee.
Keep it moving.
Because really nobody can answer those questions. So, and that was why I hired a life coach, hoping they would answer the questions for me. But what I got was even more questions.
You answered the
more questions. You answer the question yourself. But then, all the soul searching, the connection with, my source, God, and all of that just started making things clearer for me. Priceless. And to be honest, everybody needs to get to that point. So for me, this show is not even about business. This show is not about business. It's not about being an entrepreneur. It's just about stepping into your power wherever you are.
Oh,
you
Lord.
Could be working
Absolutely.
With a company, you could be anything.
Absolutely.
Just stepping into your power wherever you are and removing all those masks that are telling you can't be great.
Absolutely, right? Without a doubt.
Yeah.
there's a lot of fuss about titles, like, oh, she's an entrepreneur, oh, she's a business person, oh, she's a business coach, oh, she's a life coach, oh, she's a healing master, oh, she's she's a professional. What does that even mean? What does all of that mean? I think there should be more to be said about power, more to be said about leveraging your personal power. There's so much more to be said about the woman who's living a life by design. That is important. The woman who knows who she is and goes for it. The woman who is deliberate and intentional about the experiences that she's calling into her life, whether that be in a corporate 9-to-5 world or a brick and mortar like this or online. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Are you living a life by design? Are you living purposefully? Do you feel like if you died now and went to wherever, you would have said, I died empty. I invested the world with my gifts and my passions and my personality. I moved the needle a little bit. Do you feel that way? And if you don't feel that way, now is a good time to make up your mind to go, okay, you know what? I changed my mind. I changed my mind and I don't need so much to start. I can start with what I have right now.
So one question I'm going to ask you is, okay, so some of the things you've talked about is getting to know what your passion is, right? So what did you say, getting to know, how do you get to know your passion?
So I said you have to start with the path of least resistance.
Yeah. So you said you have to start with the path of least resistance. And let's assume somebody's watching you now and they're like, you know what, I love to arrange homes, like just make homes look nicer, or I love to sew, or I love to. How do they connect that to their calling and what they're like is? So what they love, is that what their passion is, or like how do I say this now? How do people step into their power? What are those things they need to do?
I think a very crucial, I think a very crucial question to ask in this day and age is, what problems can I solve for people?
Okay.
What problems can I solve for people right now? What problems can I solve for people right now? Because if you answer the question of problems, then you can answer, is this a problem that I like to solve? Which answers a passion question.
Okay.
And then, is there a demand for this problem? Right? So I think that's another way of looking at it. What problems can I solve right now? How can I make an impact in that person's life? And then, so your question was really about, is your purpose your passion? Like, so if someone said to you, oh, I know how to cook, I know how to sew, what problem is that solving? If you know how to cook, you're solving a hunger problem, or you're solving, and then within the hunger problem, there's different people solving that problem. How are you going to put your personality on that problem to make it stand out in the marketplace?
Absolutely.
How can you say, so it's your whole brand. This brand called you, it's not just about the problem that you solve, it's the way that you solve the problem. There's a whole lot of business coaches, there's a whole lot of mindset coaches, but there is nobody like Ad-Mabo. Why do I know that to be true? Because I bring my pizzazz, I bring my vibe, I bring my passion, I bring my spiritual angle, I bring my experience, I bring my failures, I bring everything that I've been through to the table. And I then create this mosaic, which is my own style, which is my own way of business coaching that nobody else would ever give you on the surface of this earth. And so I am a mindset, I am a mood, because not every woman may be at the level where they're ready for some Ad-Mabo, but some people may be at the level where they're like, okay, I'm done with all this vibe. I just need serious business plans. And I'm not the person to talk to, because I don't help you create business plans. That's not what I do.
And I totally get what you're saying, that you need to integrate who you are into whatever you're creating, because that is your brand. That is your brand identity is who you are. And like, I have stories to share about this, because there's so many even makeup slangs that I don't relate with. You wouldn't see on my post like, yes, slay girl, and it's not just who I am. It's not how I will talk. It's not, the Adonia woman, it's just different, right? And I don't mean all those people are bad or anything. They're making money in their own spaces. But if I try to copy, being that kind of brand, then it's not authentic to me.
That's the word we're looking for, authenticity.
It's not authentic to me. So I try to stick to my values, what I believe in, and that's how I've been building Adonia. And we're attracting just the right people to us. Some people come here, oh, I need the Nigerian kind of makeup. And I'm like,
what does that mean?
I don't know what Nigerian kind of makeup is. Can you do heavy makeup? Can you do, So I try to just, talk to people, communicate. Of course, try and help them create what they want, because at the end of the day, they're the clients. But I try to explain to them what we do and how we do things, So it's all about your personality shining through with your brand. So if you have a big personality, by all means, people that love that will be attracted to you. And if you are quiet as a dove, you can't even talk above a certain, you can't.
Decibel.
If someone is sitting next to you, they can't hear what you're saying. You will attract your own kind of people. So discover who you are first, and then you can step into your extraordinary and play big. And start creating just the life that you want, and do something meaningful in the world.
I love it.
Do something meaningful in the world, because it's very easy to compete, especially in this day and age where everybody's an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to just go out there. What's this person doing? Okay, I'm gonna do it better. Trust me. Whatever you're doing, there's someone that is doing better. There's someone that is doing that. Your price. It's hard to compete on price, because there will always be prices that are lower. They're lower than yours, and they're higher than yours. So why don't you get creative instead of competing? And the only way you can get creative is by being you.
It's by being authentic. I love it. So there's something that you said I just wanted to buttress on. So there's a lot of people who are doing the exact same thing as you are, and what makes you stand out in the marketplace? What makes you stand out is there cannot be two people who love the exact same things, who have the exact same culture, who love the exact same music. Now the problem, though, the reason why in the marketplace it seems like everyone sounds the same way, because people are not embracing the things that should make them stand out, because they don't know how the market will receive it. But this fear. But there is a whole thing on attraction-based marketing where I know for a fact I only magnetize people who are into the high, into feeling excited. Because I am on a good day, I cannot have coffee because I'll be dancing all over this place. I can only attract people who are spiritual, who have spiritual-based businesses, or who see the correlation between spirituality and the marketplace. Yeah. Because I cannot have a full-blown conversation without talking about God, or without talking about spirituality. Why would I want to do something else that sounds formal? Why would I want to go do something else when those are not really my people? So you're attracting the wrong audience, and you're faking it. They're attracted to the fake person, and then the minute you decide to take off your mask, they run away because you're like, who is this? We don't know who this is.
Totally get it. Okay, so Ehi, one last question I'm gonna ask you is, what 3 things can our viewers take away today to start unmasking their beauty? Because you've told us about how to discover your beauty and start taking action, but what can they do to start unmasking their beauty?
I think the first step is getting clear on what you want. There's so much to be said about clarity. Getting clear on the life you want, getting clear on the person you want to impact, getting clear on the life you want, the person you want to impact, and what you need to exchange in return for, or what you need to get in return for the impact that you're giving them. So getting clear, clarity is huge. A lot of people walking around not sure what you're doing. There's a lot of blurry lines. There's a lot of.
Well, how do you get clear?
So you simply just follow, what does my soul desire? What do I want in this very moment? So the thing is, a lot of us know what we want, but we deny ourselves those things because, again, is it realistic? Should I be asking for this much? Should I be doing this? So getting clear on just asking yourself basic questions. What do I want right now? What do I want to be doing? What is a day in the life of my ideal life? What's a day? That's a good place to start from. What's a day in the life of Ehi 2.0? What's a day in the life of my version 2.0? What is she doing? So getting super clear on what it is that you want. So what is a day in the life of my higher version? What am I doing? Who am I hanging out with? Who am I talking to? You know, what am I eating? What part of the world am I in? Am I working online? Am I speaking to people offline? What problems am I solving? So if you can have that clarity, you're good to go. It's a very first step. It's a very first step. So don't do anything without being clear on what you want.
Step one, clarity.
Step one, clarity.
Yeah.
Step two is really just creating that culture we talked about. How can I make this as authentic as possible? How can I use my gifts, my vision, my talents, my passion, and everything that I have to magnetize the woman who's looking at me and going, oh, I resonate with what she's saying. I want to get to where she's at. So what are some of the factors that I can introduce in my brand? What are some of the things that what are some of the things I do so well, but also what are some of the things that I love that I can introduce? What are some of the things that I love that I can introduce to my brand? And then the very last step is taking action. You must take action. That's the only way we can convert this potential energy to kinetic energy. You must do something now. Take inspired action. Just take inspired action. If you feel that you should be doing something, go and try it. Go and put in a proposal. Go and speak. Go and coach. Go and start the business. Go and apply for the promotion. Move if you need to move. Relocate. Have the child. Just do it. Just take. And one of the things that stopped me was that embarrassment, that fear of embarrassing myself. Well, what if I embarrass myself? What if I embarrass myself and everyone is watching? But I later realized that the embarrassment was only coming because of pride.
True.
Embarrassment, you can only feel embarrassment because of pride.
Absolutely.
Why are you too big to fail?
Yeah.
Why are you too big to sleep in front of everyone? Why do you think you're beyond falling or you're beyond repeating something?
Yeah.
So when I realized it was because of pride, I cut that. I'm like, no, I'm okay. It's okay for me to go through the process. It's okay for me to not get it right the first time, and then that just takes off all the pressure.
So thank you so much for all the 3 tips that you've given to us to unmask our beauty today. The first one, you said we should be clear. You know, clarity is very important, and I totally understand that because like I've gone through all of these stages in my own life and in my own business and in everything that I do. So clarity is huge. 2, be authentic, you know, do things that align to who you are, your values and all. And then the third, what's the third?
Massive action.
Okay. And the third is to take action. And like, I can't even stress that enough. You know, just do something. You're thinking, you know, and you're clear, you are authentic to yourself, then take action. For instance, I've never seen anyone doing what I'm doing right now, like, you know, having a conversation, you know, about life and things that really, really, really inspire me, things that I love to listen to. And I'm having those conversations while doing what I love to do. So there are people that will be attracted to it. There are people that wouldn't want to miss this show for any reason. And there are people that wouldn't, you know, that they don't really
care for it, and that's okay.
Yeah. But this is me standing in my power, doing what I love to do. I'm very happy, even if it's just one woman that takes one tip from from the things that we discuss, you know, and that runs with it. I feel that is, you know, success for me. If one woman listens to this show and is inspired to take action, that is success for me. So yeah, I learn a lot in this show and all these conversations. I learn a lot, and that's why I've been doing them and I want to keep doing them. So thank you so much, Ehi. I've really enjoyed, you know, hanging out with you today. So is there any other thing you want to let our viewers know just before we leave today?
I want the viewers to know that when you see someone who's doing something that you want to do, the reason you resonate with them is because there's a seed in you that resonates with your harvest. There's something in you that is drawing you to them and going, oh my goodness, I really like that person. I like the way they sound. I like what you're saying. You know, there's something about them that resonates with you. And so when you see someone who's doing something that you want to do, know that it is possible for you as well. If it's possible for them, it's possible for you.
That's the story of my life.
Yeah.
I always kept looking at Tyra Durotoye and I'm like, what is it about this woman? What is it? What is it? And I'm like, you know what? There's something in her that resonates with me. Whether I'm a makeup artist or I'm not, she's just someone I'm totally inspired by. And yeah, I started to take action.
So lovely having this conversation, and I look cute.
Sorry, I'm just gonna quickly complete a few things.
Look like this every day. Can I look like this every day?
Hey, look at Get a spray your face so that the makeup can last all day, and then you can look at the mirror.
Whoa! Who's that girl? I love it.
Do you like a lipstick?
I love everything.
Yeah.
I should look like this every day.
Right? So viewers, thank you for viewing today, and I hope you learned a thing or two about, discovering your passion and unmasking all the fears, the guilt, the shame, and all those things that are stopping you from stepping into your extraordinary. So if you have any questions, please feel free to pop the questions under the in the comment section below. And till our next video, stay beautiful.